That's really not a good idea. Plus, gross. Okay, but really, while driving? Hey man, to each his own. But again, while driving? Nope, not while driving. You definitely wouldn't do this while driving. Oh sure, that's safe. Are you kidding me? Pay attention and just drive.
Hi, I'm Officer Luna with the Glendale Police Department. I've been on the police department for 15 years. I've worked patrol, community policing, the traffic bureau, and the special enforcement detail. One of the reasons why I became an officer is because I wanted to make change in my community. We have an overwhelming number of traffic collisions, reckless driving, exhibition of speed, and general speed recklessness. Nationwide, 10,000 people die from traffic collisions. Our goal here in Glendale is 0. The Traffic Bureau has a 3-prong approach: education, engineering, and enforcement. It includes verbal warnings at traffic stops. It encompasses us going to civic meetings, schools, town halls, neighborhood watch meetings, and talking about ways collectively so we can put an end to this. We meet with traffic engineering. We may review or resurvey a city street for the speed limit. Maybe it needs to be changed. Well, I can tell you that we're here to enforce these laws. We have no problem working all day, all night to enforce traffic safety. We don't want anybody to get hurt. We don't want anybody to get in a traffic collision. Our goal out here is to affect change and change driving behavior. What I'm asking you to do is to help us. As a community, we need to unify, work together. You know the driving habit of your son or daughter. You get those tickets in the mail. You see your insurance premiums go up due to tickets and citations or court dates. Have a conversation with your son and daughter. And we're here to do our part. And we're asking you, the community, to help us, meet us in the middle. Let's all be accountable for the problems that we're facing here.
Live from the Glendale Police Department is the 26th Annual Glendale Police Award Ceremony. Introducing Chief Carl Povolitis.
Welcome to the 2021 Glendale Police Department Awards Ceremony. We will begin with the presentation of colors by the Glendale Police Department Honor Guard.
Honor Guard, forward, march, left, 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 right, detail, halt, left, face, present, on.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. On. Colors. Pose. left, face. Forward, march. Left, 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 right.
Good afternoon and welcome to our 26th annual awards ceremony. While we really hoped that this year we would be doing this in May and that we'd be doing it in person and that we would be able to honor our awardees in a traditional fashion, looking at what was happening in the world and in the interest of keeping people as safe as possible, we decided that a virtual format was the best way to do this again this year. We're hoping that by May of 2022, we'll return to a sense of normalcy and we'll be able to honor our awardees in that traditional fashion with an in-person ceremony. While this ceremony is virtual, I'd like to take a moment to thank you all for your participation. It means a lot to the men and women of the Glendale Police Department. And while this may be September, the awards actually cover 2020. And I don't know about anyone else, but while 2020 ended several months ago, in many ways it seems like it was a long time ago, and in other ways it seems like it is still with us. That being said, there were a lot of things that happened in 2020. There is a saying that it is a year like no other, and there's also a saying that the only constant in life is change, and in 2020 there was a lot of change. We started off 2020 with a worldwide pandemic. That required constant change and adaptation as we learned more and more about the virus. About the time we figured out what the protocols would be, we would have to change them again based on the information that came into us. And so while it changed some of our protocols, we continued to work. We continued to protect our community. We protected the rights of people to exercise their constitutional rights, and we protected the community from those who would violate the rights of others through civil unrest. Needless to say, a lot of things did happen in 2020, but there are also some things that were constant. For us, those are the core principles that guide the Glendale Police Department. We focused on constitutional and respectful policing. We focused on protecting our community. We continued to engage with our community, developing partnerships to solve problems. And we continually focused on improving ourselves as individuals, as an organization, and through all of that, we maintained a sense of compassion. What is also consistent is the unwavering commitment of the men and women of the Glendale Police Department to protecting and serving our community. While all of this was going on, we were still providing the full range of policing services to our community. We were conducting investigations. We were addressing traffic safety issues. And we were working on issues that impact the safety of our community and the quality of life in our community, both big and small. This included taking illegal guns off the street, using technology to address an increasing auto theft problem, continuing to do outreach for homeless and mental health related issues, and none of this stopped. None of it stopped despite all of the challenges that 2020 brought. And that is why Glendale Police Department is a premier law enforcement organization, and we have the best officers and professional staff of any agency in the country, and every single one of them serves this community and serve this community each and every day. The people here are truly special. They put others before themselves. It is truly an embodiment of service above self, and they care about what happens to the community and the people in our community. Today, we're going to recognize the accomplishments of some very deserving members of the department. But I know that if you ask them, they're going to tell you that they were just doing their job. They all have a great sense of humility and a commitment to our department. And I would like to just take a moment to tell you that what they have done is representative of the men and women of the department, but what they also did was some extraordinary work that separated themselves out and demonstrated the best of the Glendale Police Department. One of the other things that we're going to take a moment to do today also is we had to put our promotional ceremonies on hold during the pandemic. And that didn't give us the opportunity to recognize a number of people who were promoted starting back in March of 2020. And so today, we're going to take a moment with a video to give it an opportunity to acknowledge everybody who achieved a milestone and congratulate them on their accomplishments as well. And finally, before I conclude, this profession is not without risk. The people here really are extraordinary because they do put themselves before others. And with that, there are some that gave all, and I would like to take a moment to acknowledge those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Would you please join me in a moment of silence as we honor Charles Whitney Smith, Leslie O'Clem, John Isaacson, and Charles Chuck Lazaretto, the members of the police department who gave their lives in serving our community. Thank you again for joining us, and please enjoy the rest of the program.
Almighty, we invite your presence to be with us today. As we serve the great city of Glendale, we ask you for your blessing. Help us to understand the needs of people, and may we always show kindness and gentleness. Thank you for these men and women who have dedicated their lives to protect and serve. Give us now the satisfaction and the sensitivity of how we may be able to serve more and make this the greatest city to live. Amen.
Hello, everyone. I'm David Ono, anchor with ABC 7 Eyewitness News, and I'm honored to have been the Glendale Police Department's award ceremonies MC for many years. This year, because of COVID, we are once again going virtual. But I wanted to take the time to express my gratitude and appreciation for this department and to personally congratulate all of this year's awardees on their achievements. This year's awardees have done some extraordinary police work despite being faced with the challenges of the pandemic. And ABC 7 is headquartered in Glendale and appreciate all you do for us and our community. So a big thank you to all of the men and women of the Glendale Police Department who work nonstop to keep Glendale safe and to help give us all the quality of life that we enjoy. Their extraordinary efforts continue to keep Glendale one of the safest cities of its size in the United States. A truly remarkable accomplishment. Once again, congratulations to all the awardees, and thank all of you for tuning in to watch the ceremony today. I know you will enjoy it.
Good afternoon and welcome to annual Glendale Police Department's awards ceremony. My name is Robert Parsegian, president of the Glendale Police Foundation. We at the foundation felt it was absolutely important to honor the fine work that the men and women of the Glendale Police Department do on a daily basis. We felt it was even more important to make sure we honor the exemplary work put forth by the awardees being honored today. Today's virtual event is sponsored by Glendale Police Foundation in conjunction with Glendale Police Department. The Glendale Police Foundation's mission is to support and improve police and community relations while awarding a grant to police personnel for specialized equipment, training, and collaborative community programs. One of our biggest accomplishments is supplementing funding for the K-9 program. I want to take a moment and thank our virtual awards ceremony committee for their countless hours of work and dedication in making this event so successful. Also like to thank GTV6 and the staff. This event could not have occurred without their hard work. However, let's bring our attention to whom today is meant for: the hardworking and brave sworn and professional staff of the Glendale Police Department.
And now I'd like to introduce Glendale Police Foundation member and KTLA reporter Alina Abovian to introduce our awardees.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alina Abovian. I'm a news reporter for KTLA Channel 5 News. But more importantly, I'm a resident of Glendale. My entire life, I've grown up here, and it is my honor not only to be a part of this board, but to be a part of today's event. Police officers must be prepared to protect themselves and the community in all situations. This may include the need to use deadly force. The solemn responsibility requires officers to maintain a high level of marksmanship. The most proficient shooters are dedicated to the required hours of practice and training to be the best marksman in the department. The maximum points an officer could score for 2020 was 1740. The top marksmanship awards are divided into two categories: the top SWAT Team Marksman Awards and the top non-SWAT Team Marksman Awards. The top SWAT shooters were separated by a mere 2 points. The top shooter, Detective Ryan Sandlin, scored a perfect 1740 points. In second place, Detective Tucker scored 1739 points. The third place had a tie and is awarded to Detective Ian Torley and Detective Chris Clay, each with a score of 1738 points. The top non-SWAT shooters were only separated by a spread of 3 points. Officer Clay Bick and Agent Vincent Jackson tied for shooters with 1733 points, and Lieutenant Tigran Topadzikian ended the year with 17 and 30 points. The third marksmanship category was added to the awards this year and is referred to as the No Second Chance Award. The award is given to the officer with the highest scored on their first relay during each qualification and with no opportunity to improve their score with a second or third attempt at the qualification. Agent Charlton Vidal is the recipient of this award. Community service is a vital part of this community, and the Community Service Awards are presented to people that go above and beyond in serving those that live in this community. This last year has been unlike any other, with constantly changing county regulations dependent upon COVID-19 cases within the community. The Glendale Police Department has been fortunate to remain consistent partners with Dignity Health and the Glendale Memorial Hospital. Glendale Memorial has been a valuable community partner with the Glendale Police Department and the city for many years. But this last year and continuously throughout the pandemic, Glendale Memorial has gone above and beyond in their service to the community and to the police department. The hospital has facilitated hundreds of vaccinations for essential workers to help us through the pandemic and has offered emergency medical and psychological service to community members who need it during these incredibly stressful times. We are incredibly thankful to our partnership with Glendale Memorial and are honored to present them with this Community Service Award. On October 19, 2020, at approximately 9:44 p.m., a 911 caller reported his friend had just been shot and the caller had been pistol whipped in the face. The caller was unable to get a clear view of the suspects and was only able to describe them as 3 males who were all armed with handguns. The suspect ultimately forced their way into the residence on Broadview and stole watches, purses, and numerous other items from that home. While officers were still processing the crime scene, a witness reported seeing 2 males walking in Montrose Park and then seen entering a small white Honda SUV and leaving the area. Officers checked the area but were unable to locate the Honda. On the following day, October 2020, Glendale resident Rocio Castro became aware of the home invasion robbery. Rocio read the suspects were believed to have fled the scene in a white SUV. Rocio recalled seeing the 2 suspects, the males, on October 19, 2020 at 19:41 hours while she waited for her husband to use the Bank of America ATM located at 2320 Honolulu. Rocio said the 2 males were lingering near the ATM and acting strange, suspicious, she said. Rocio was able to take a photograph of the 2 males and was cognizant to note that the males had left the bank in a white SUV. Recognizing the similarities between the robbery suspects and the 2 males Rocio observed at the bank, Rocio contacted the Glendale police detectives and relinquished the photographs that she took. Detectives conducted a thorough investigation with the assistance of Rocio's quality photographs and were able to identify all 3 suspects who committed the home invasion robbery. Glendale police detectives were able to retrieve CCTV footage which captured the 2 males entering the white Honda SUV when they left the Bank of America just 2 hours prior to the shooting and the robbery. This timely evidence and citizen engagement enabled the arrest of 2 males and a female from the home and the home invasion robbery.
Hi, everyone. Mayor Paula Devine here to share with you my utmost congratulations on your hard work and success. It is an honor and a privilege to join you, even virtually. I am humbled by the opportunity to share my thoughts as well as our collective appreciation and admiration for today's honorees. To all of the friends and family members that are watching, please feel very honored to be connected to such special people. I know this past year has not been easy, but you, the men and women of the Glendale Police Department, have shown time and time again what it means to protect, to serve, and to understand the needs of your community. You are a strong, talented, and compassionate group. You're a shining example of what a law enforcement agency should be, not just here in Glendale, but across the region and the nation. I think of each of the individual actions of the officers that are being awarded today, and I realize that you have saved lives, even if I cannot empirically prove this fact. Children in broken homes whom you have cared for, the cycles of domestic violence abuse that you have broken by removing batterers from homes, and intoxicated drivers who you have taken off of our Glendale streets. My words cannot adequately capture our admiration at the loss that you prevented and the heartbreak that you have saved. On behalf of all residents, businesses, and visitors of Glendale, thank you for who you are and for what you do every single day. For your service to our community, I wish to extend my heartfelt congratulations to tonight's award recipients for their outstanding efforts to keep Glendale safe. Thank you so much, all of you.
On February 15, 2020, at approximately 3:15 a.m., Glendale citizens began calling the Glendale Police Department Communications to report a traffic collision at Sinclair Street under the 134 freeway overpass. The callers reported a vehicle which was on fire after colliding into a parked vehicle. The callers also reported a subject possibly unconscious inside the burning vehicle. Officer Aaron Egeman and Officer Jacob Emery were the first officers on the scene and located the vehicle at the sloped embankment underneath the overpass. overpass. All the airbags in the vehicle were deployed. The front windshield was missing, and the vehicle was on fire. Officer Emery recalls seeing the hood of the vehicle pushed up against a similar support pillar under the freeway, and the hood was engulfed in flames. His initial thought was to grab a fire extinguisher and check the vehicle for occupants. Officer Emery immediately noticed there was an unconscious female slumped over the center console and trapped inside the driver's compartment. Officer Egeman and Officer Emery swiftly coordinated with each other to temporarily subdue the fire while extracting the female from the vehicle. While Officer Emery forced the door open, Officer Egeman cut the woman's seatbelt and extracted her from the car. As Officer Egeman started to remove the female, the vehicle's engine block suddenly ignited and was engulfed in flames. Officer Emery utilized the fire extinguisher to temporarily pacify the fire. Officer Egeman and Officer Emery's swift and heroic efforts allowed them to successfully remove the female from the burning vehicle and carry her to an area of safety. The Glendale Fire Department then transported the female to Huntington Memorial Hospital, where she regained consciousness and was left in the care of the hospital staff. The Glendale Fire Department was eventually able to completely extinguish the flames and render the area as safe. It was noted that on scene, the Glendale Fire Captain, if it weren't for Officer Egeman and Officer Emery's heroic actions, the woman would have perished in the burning vehicle. This is an extraordinary example of how two officers' willingness to place themselves in immediate danger and imminent danger resulted in the life-saving rescue of a female who was trapped inside a burning vehicle.
Congratulations, nice to meet you. Congratulations, good job.
I think this was a day that all of us can remember. It was very early in 2020. The world forever changed with the discovery of the COVID-19 virus. The virus quickly became an epidemic. For the first time in most of our lifetimes, there were worldwide travel restrictions, geographical lockdowns, and large-scale quarantines. Many businesses closed, or employees now telecommuted, but first responders did not have that option to suspend services to their communities. The Glendale Police Department has always taken pride in its relationship with the Glendale community and was committed to providing outstanding service even during these difficult times of the pandemic. The responsibility to manage the police department's response to the coronavirus was assigned to the Training Bureau. Some of the responsibilities in managing the response included ordering and distributing personal protective equipment, which was quite difficult with the national shortages, triaging employees who were exposed to the virus, administrating COVID-19 tests, adjusting procedures and protocols to a barrage of government mandates, tracking overtime, and many other administrative duties. The COVID-19 response team members made themselves available 24/7 to ensure the safety of our employees and the community. Since March of 2020, the COVID-19 team has triaged more than 400 employees. The department's response to COVID-19 has been used as a shining example to other law enforcement agencies. Due to their outstanding service and purpose of duty, Sergeant Teal Metz and Sergeant Chris Spencer, Sergeant Sharon Kim, Nurse Marianne Newby, and Dr. Angela Loza are recipients of the Distinguished Service Award.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Silvio Alonzos, and I proudly serve as the fire chief for the Glendale Fire Department. I have many things that I'm extremely proud of serving here in the city of Glendale. One of those is our close and extremely professional relationship with our police officers. I believe that Glendale police officers, like our firefighters, are the best in the world. And I'd like to take a minute to congratulate all of the awardees today, but really every member of the police department. This past year has been one of the most unique and one of the most challenging years in our entire lives. From the pandemic, having to enforce mask orders, having to be police officers for things that we never thought we would need to be, has been challenging for each of you, but you've handled it with grace, with extreme professionalism, and with the utmost respect for our community, and I couldn't be more proud of you for that. That, coupled with demonstrations, protests, and even extreme violence throughout our country, has made the job of police officer extremely challenging, extremely dangerous, yet extremely rewarding. As the fire chief here in the city of Glendale, I am proud to be your partner. I'm proud to work alongside of you, and our firefighters are proud to work alongside you. We support every member of the police agency, and especially here in Glendale. So to all of today's awardees, congratulations, well-earned acknowledgments, and to every member of the police department, we stand with you, we're proud of you, and we thank you.
Sergeant Javier Ruiz is in his 41st collective year as a valued team member of the Glendale City, and in his 23rd year as a police sergeant. Javier's success in all these years has been sourced from his invariable beliefs that he holds, honoring the mission first and recognizing the importance of the troops. Javier achieves this through day-to-day efforts during patrol operations, servant leadership and mentorship of others, and the positive work culture he upholds, his community engagement, and forward-thinking ideas for more efficient watch. Although Javier recognizes the mission is the most important thing, he understands it cannot be achieved without taking care of the people that are tasked to making it happen. Javier truly understands that taking care of the team is the most important thing. He works hard at developing them through encouragement, challenges, plans tailoring to address their weaknesses, accountability, constructive criticism, and sometimes by telling them the things they simply do not want to hear. Javier continuously finds ways to help team members develop their traits, celebrate their successes, and build cohesive teams. Javier values his role as the most important senior sergeant within our organization and wants to make the organization ever more efficient and effective. He is a mentor on several levels, not just to officers, but to his sergeant peers. During this past year, Javier has been the FTO sergeant to all new sergeants on Group D. He understands a leader has other equally important responsibilities, that is to develop new leaders and to serve as role models for those aspiring to be one. Javier is a true leader in the organization by demonstrating so many selfless acts and exuding a positive demeanor. Javier continues to project a positive attitude, which is the best way to influence others and gain the most of the troops he supervises. Some of the selfless acts Javier embraces is working extended hours to meet supervisory minimums, sometimes the entire work week. This not only maintains safety for the watch, but sustains fiscal responsibility. He does not complain and wills himself to fulfilling the commitments he makes. Javier's character and competence all these years have placed him in the pantheon of our organization's effective leaders. His blue-collar work ethic and commitment to the profession represents the vestiges year after year. He understands the rich traditions of police work and wants to indoctrinate a set of positive beliefs and principles that ensures the organization's professionalism and steady success. Javier sincerely cares about our team members and people in our community. He is dependable and trusted and is often relied upon to be the acting watch commander when he is needed. Javier has provided inspiration and guidance for our organization to overcome difficulties, navigate through the current uncertainties, and accomplish our overall mission. His engaged servant leadership, dependable interpersonal skills, and overall work product is testimony to achieving the goals of the department. Sergeant Javier Ruiz is awarded today with the Divisional Award for his outstanding commitment to the organization. Thank you, Sergeant Ruiz. On October 26, 2020, the LAPD Robbery Homicide Division requested the assistance of the Glendale Police Department's Verdugo Regional Crime Laboratory Computer Forensic Unit with analyzing a DVR system associated with a suspicious missing person case from a marijuana dispensary. The submitted DVR system was believed to contain the last whereabouts of a missing person, and the device could have possibly been altered to delete portions of the surveillance video from inside the dispensary on the evening of the event. Submission and acceptance of the cases directly from the Los Angeles Police Department are exceedingly rare due to directives at LAPD limiting outsourcing of evidence testing. However, given that the circumstances of the missing person case, LAPD detectives believe the case would be a homicide. Computer forensic technical lead Detective Juan Giraldo accepted the requested case and assigned the processing to criminalist Willem Conkling. Criminalist Conkling using a computer software program which allowed for data extraction of the submitted DVR system containing the surveillance video from inside the dispensary. During their investigation, it was confirmed that a portion of the video on the DVR had in fact been deleted. Criminalist Conkling was able to sort through the data and find visual evidence of a kidnapping homicide. This case was the first of this kind for forensic specialist Conkling, who worked closely under the guidance of Detective Juan Giraldo. In the span of 3 days from the service request, this information was provided to the LAPD's Homicide Robbery Division by the Glendale Police Department. The lead confirmed a major portion of the investigation, which was the last whereabouts of the victim and the possible suspects involved in the commission of the crime. The deleted surveillance video that had been recovered by Detective Giraldo and criminalist Conkling revealed what truly occurred on the evening of September 22, 2020, inside the dispensary. It showed one of the suspects, a bodyguard, at the marijuana dispensary, along with the second suspect, the owner of the marijuana dispensary, inside the location with the victim. A few minutes after 11 p.m., seemingly unprovoked, the bodyguard suddenly took the victim to the ground, put him in a chokehold, and held him down until he was no longer responsive. In the video, the owner looked at the bodyguard choking him, making no effort to intervene in the attack. At the end of the incident, the owner then exited the frame seconds before the video ended, leading detectives to correctly conclude that he had left the room to disable the surveillance cameras. On November 19, 2020, LAPD detectives located the victim's remains on a desert road outside of Barstow. Also on November 19, 2020, based on the work of the Glendale Police Department Computer Forensics Unit, the bodyguard was arrested for murder in connection with this case. The bodyguard has since pleaded not guilty to murder and is awaiting trial. In February of 2021, the dispensary owner was located and arrested in Istanbul and is currently being held pending the extradition to Los Angeles on a murder charge. Technology has become an integral part of the law enforcement investigations. Oftentimes, computer forensic examinations occur tandem with the investigation by detectives on a case. This case is one example of exceptional work provided by Detective Giraldo and criminalist Conkling that extends beyond the Glendale Police Department and all their efforts in cracking certain cases. For their contribution to their tedious work in this case, we recognize Detective Juan Giraldo and forensic specialist William Conkling as the recipients of the 2021 Divisional Award.
Hi, I'm Detective Chris Ayad, a director of the Glendale Police Officers Association. We want to recognize and thank all the men and women who were honored for their service today. Your hard work and dedication to the city, the department, and to your partners does not go unrecognized. We are very proud to have you represent our badge, our city, and our community. On behalf of the GPOA, congratulations on your achievements.
The help of volunteers are critical for any organization. The Glendale Police Department's volunteers provide investigative, technical, office, and clerical assistance in many different areas of support and services. Tasks performed by our volunteers are varied and extensive, including answering phone calls, filing records, data entry, typing documents, providing information to visitors, assisting with fingerprints, taking photographs, research, public education, and community outreach. It's a long, long list. Volunteers have been an integral part of the success of our police department and this organization. Jane Keegan has been volunteering here with the police department, primarily assigned to the community relations team since January of 2014. Jean has proven to be a tremendous asset to the team, especially during the 2020 pandemic. Jean has gone above and beyond with her duties and took the lockdown as an opportunity to make significant changes to the way our department handles and processes trespass letters. The process was primarily conducted using mail-in forms and filing forms in the office. Jean was able to work at the station during the pandemic due to the stay-at-home orders. Jean took the trespass letters filings home with her, scanned in all the old documents from the filing cabinets, and created PDFs. Jean updated the forms and converted the entire process to an online platform, ultimately making the process user-friendly for business owners and the department as a whole. Jean used her own printer, her own scanner, her own paper, ink, and phone to make sure that the trespass desk remained active and current. She spent hundreds of hours on this one detail alone. Jean also graciously took on a new role with the community relations team who implemented the Caring Caller program. Jean is still very active in this role, where she calls lonely, isolated seniors in the city on a weekly basis. Jean has become very close with these clients, and the clients say they look forward to her calls every single week. Jean logs approximately 600 minutes every single month working on this program alone. Jean paired her with the Seroptimus International Club and purchased specialized gifts for each client at Christmas. One client expressed that Jean was the best thing to happen to him in 2020. Another senior said Jean gave him the most thoughtful gift that he ever received because she bought items they loved and had mentioned in previous conversations, providing to them Jean really listened and cared. Jean has a heart of gold and truly cares about this community. It's pretty clear to see, as well as the Glendale Police Department. She has dedicated hundreds of hours to this job year after year and continues to go above and beyond. It is for these reasons that Jean is being recognized as the Volunteer of the Year. Reserve officers commit themselves to the same calls for service and potentially hazardous situations that any full-time officer handles. Reserve officers are sworn members of the department and held to the same expectations as standard full-time members are. If you are out in the field, you won't be able to tell who's a reserve officer and who is a full-time officer. They wear the same uniforms, the same badge, and hold the same amount of responsibility. The only difference is that the reserve position is a volunteer position, which means the ladies and gentlemen in these positions, well, they don't get paid for the hard work that they do. The Glendale Police Department's reserve forces play a valuable role in terms of community safety and service. In addition to patrol operations, reserve forces are called upon to assist with special details such as high school football games, the department's open house, National Night Out, K-9 demonstrations, cruise night, and many other events throughout the city. With all that in mind, we recognize Bill Torley as our Reserve Officer of the Year. This is Bill Torley's 5th time winning this award. Torley has been with the Glendale Police Department as a reserve officer since January of 1977. Prior to that, he was with the Los Angeles Police Department for 5 years as a civilian advisor. During his time at the Glendale Police Department, Torley has been assigned to almost every bureau, including police patrol, traffic, vice narcotics, air support, special enforcement, custody, personal and training, and others. Torley has assisted in the implementation of numerous programs we have here, including GPD's Emergency Vehicle Operations Program, writing policies for vehicular pursuits and Code 3 responses, and the Glendale Police Department's video arraignment process. Recently, Torley was honored at the LASD Reserve graduation, where he teaches at the academy, and he celebrates his 50 years of service to that community. Bill, we are thankful for you. You have chosen and dedicated so much of yourself and your time to the Glendale Police Department, and we appreciate all of your hard work. While police officers, firefighters, and paramedics are considered first responders to an emergency, police communications operators are the first lifeline to all police services. They receive, identify, and accurately evaluate emergencies and routine calls for police services. They route 911 calls for fire and emergency medical services, refer calls, all while remaining calm, cool, and collected, something we all know is very difficult in a stressful situation. Adding to the stress is the fact that they cannot see the situation in front of them. PCOs monitor and maintain the status of all police personnel units as to location and availability. They determine appropriate personnel equipment to be dispatched using voice radio and computer-aided dispatch system. The job entails a lot of multitasking, which includes relaying, following, repeating, and remembering complex oral and written instructions, information, and directions. PCO Heidi Hooker has been a dispatcher with the City of Glendale since July of 2007. During her 14 years, she has proven to be an exemplary dispatcher. PCO Hooker's dedication to officer safety is second to none. She uses all available databases to her advantage. She routinely anticipates requests from other officers in the field and does an extensive search on subjects, suspects, and addresses in a timely manner before the officer can even ask for additional information. PCO Hooker's enthusiasm volunteered to train new employees on the radio. She provides a positive learning environment and writes thorough daily observations, evaluations, listening to achievable goals for her trainees. PCO Hooker is supportive of supervisory staff and can be relied upon to set an example for her coworkers and set a positive attitude for her team members. PCO Hooker has a great reputation among her peers and her supervisors. She is professional, she is proactive, she is efficient, and she is trustworthy. She never fails to go above and beyond for obtaining crucial and pertinent information. She treats everyone with compassion and with respect. It is apparent to the officers in the field that PCO's Hooker as a dispatcher is to safeguard the lives of officers in the field and our community. It is for many reasons that PCO Hooker is being recognized as Professional Staff Member of the Year.
Many of you know how involved I am with local law enforcement. I told you we're people of law here, okay? I don't mean legalist in the book, I mean the law of the land. And we have some wonderful friends at the Glendale Police Department who have been above and beyond in helping us over the years, all of the different situations that have happened here. I am incredibly grateful to the Glendale Police. Chief Provolitis has just been outstanding in answering things in our community. As many of you know, I support the K-9 unit, the officers and the detectives. In fact, we don't only just support them. I've always encouraged people to go and check out. There's a museum at the police station, kind of gives you a history. And I wanted to take this time to just say thank you because they have constantly been here for us. I want them to know that we are here for them. Support in the community goes both ways. So I thank you, Glendale Police, and I'd also like you to know that you have my full support in all that you are doing to try and help serve and protect the people of Glendale. So we thank you.
Officer Schmidt has spent much of the last year dedicated to training fellow officers in detective tactics and use of force, ensuring officers knew when and how to use force when it is necessary. Officer Schmidt attended a mobile field force training class and immediately upon his return asked for permission to train patrol officers in establishing skirmish lines and giving commands during any civil unrest incidents in our city. For 2 weeks, Officer Schmidt attended all patrol lines, ensuring Glendale police officers were ready to deploy if needed. Officer Schmidt recognized the MFF/TOSS room, taking inventory of the current supplies and labeled everything. In January, Officer Schmidt was reassigned to the Professional Standards Bureau in training capacity. Officer Schmidt is responsible for reviewing LexiPool and policy updates. He regularly meets with the city attorney and various units to ensure our policies adhere to the state and federal laws. Additionally, Officer Schmidt is responsible for creating and updating training documents to comply with POST requirements. Officer Schmidt is responsible for providing training on a variety of topics to be presented during patrol briefings. The training he has conducted has included de-escalation, First Amendment rights for law enforcement, control holds, and rear takedowns. Those training topics have an accompanying PowerPoint, which is available to all. He studies jiu-jitsu constantly and is always updating the training curriculum. He and Detective Tactics Cadre train twice a month to review techniques and then train officers on how to effect arrests with non-compliant individuals. Officer Schmidt encourages camaraderie in the department by offering to train anyone who is interested in jiu-jitsu. He trains with employees before and after work and has groups that meet to train even during their lunch breaks. Officer Schmidt also reviews use of force incidents to identify any training needs within the department. He also reviews use of force videos from neighboring agencies and includes those in his PowerPoint presentations to illustrate proper use of force and to critique behaviors that are contrary to officer safety. Officer Schmidt had the opportunity to teach portion of the Citizens Academy. He explained the duties of patrol officers and the types of calls of service that he handles. Officer Schmidt broke down the elements of crimes and why officers respond to calls for service the way that they do. He explained the legality of using force and how this agency prepares its force for violent encounters. Officer Schmidt recognizes the value and importance of reoccurring training. He is committed to providing officers with timely, purposeful, and perishable skills and training. Officer Schmidt's goal is to have every officer competent in legalities of using force, how to win a fight, and how to go home safe every single day. Officer Schmidt is a proud member of the Glendale Police Department. He is a Glendale police officer. He takes his position in Training Bureau seriously and is dedicated to making this agency the standard to which other agencies are compared. He is passionate about being an officer every single day that he is on the job. He is passionate about the welfare of others and is consistently making that his top priority.
Hello, I'm Justin Henderson, Director of Community Wellbeing at Adventist Health Glendale. On behalf of our organization, I want to congratulate you on your service awards. I also want to thank the police department for your ongoing partnership. Adventist Health Glendale was built on the mission to improve the health of our community and to live God's love by inspiring health, wholeness, and hope. We're a 515-bed hospital with a complete range of inpatient and outpatient services and complex care across a range of specialties and emergency medicine. We're also taking our mission outside of the hospital walls through our community partnerships. We're doing that through wellness programs that focus on heart and whole person health for adults. We offer programs to address homelessness and substance abuse. We're also working with our schools to serve the health needs of students, families, and teachers, especially those needs that have been highlighted by the pandemic. With your partnership and many others, we know that we'll be successful in this mission together. Congratulations again, and thank you for your dedicated service.
And a special congratulations to the men and women who have been promoted over the last year. Tim Feely to Deputy Chief of Police. Andrew Jenks to Police Captain. Robert William to Police Captain. Patrick MacToto to Police Lieutenant. Daniel Suttles to Police Lieutenant. Jose Barajas to Police Sergeant. Jacob Postajian to Police Sergeant. Vahe Abramian to Police Sergeant. Sean Carlson to Police Sergeant. Ryan Gunn, now a Police Sergeant. Kyle Heinbeckner to Police Sergeant. Kelly Kramer to Police Sergeant. Edmund Maloof, Police Sergeant. Chad McDonald, now a Police Sergeant. Sharon Kim to Police Sergeant. Cynthia Ritter, Criminalist 2. Diane Shear, Criminalist 2. Cynthia Lopez, Criminalist 1. Willem Cockling, Criminalist 1. Jennifer Fullerton, Police Communication Shift Supervisor. Ashley Schutz, to Police Communication Shift Supervisor. Christine Marquez, to Police Records Shift Supervisor. Farah Leon, to Police Services Supervisor. Araz Nazarian, to Police Services Officer. Valerie Baggy, to Police Services Officer. Ronald Lira, to Police Services Officer. Congratulations to everyone who received an award today and everyone that was recognized. Sometimes it's the work behind the scenes that truly matters. Of course, police officers, you are first responders and heroes in the field. As someone who works alongside police officers, I can tell you the work that you do does not compare to any other profession. I've seen it firsthand. You guys have even provided my safety so that I can do my job. News reporters are sometimes called first responders, though I don't necessarily agree with that. But unlike anyone else, we're the people running toward an emergency while everyone else is running away from an emergency. So I'd like to congratulate all of you for your hard work day in and day out. The way you put your life on the line, the way that you put other people first really is the most commendable profession out there. So congratulations to all of you, and I'm wishing you a safe 2021.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ara Keshishian, and I've been a longtime supporter of the Glendale Police Department. My family and I have been residents of the city for over 40 years. I've been an active real estate agent since 2009. The safety and desirability of Glendale is directly correlated with the outstanding performance of Glendale's public safety services. We are truly blessed to have our own police department with an incredible response time and a great group of professionals. I'd like to thank the entire department for their dedicated service and congratulate today's honorees.
Thank you, Chief Hovalides, and the entire command staff for being a major part of this virtual awards ceremony. Without your continuous leadership and guidance, coupled with amazing and breathtaking community support, mainly, I'd like to thank our sponsors and supporters. And once again, congratulations to all of today's awardees.